Laura, great to meet you. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure. And what's one of the first good memories you have with music?
I think all my memories with music are very important. I have sacrificed everything in my life to do this. So every single event, every single song, every artist I meet, even if I don't like them, like projects and reflects very important things in my way of thinking and the way I work. So I would say that all my music experiences, I feel so thankful, and they have made me grow so much.
You mentioned that you sacrificed a lot in your life. Wow, when you think about something you had to give up on, what was one of the hardest things to give up on to do music, to do what you do?
I think the thing about not being present in the people's life I care, because I'm always traveling and touring. So if someone I care is celebrating an important moment of their life, or if they are sad and they need a hug or someone to talk, usually I cannot be that present person, and that really hurts me.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could be there more. But I try to compensate in other ways, and also I love so much my work that it's hard to put in the balance. Like, I don't know if I would sacrifice my music life for other things in life.
Yeah, it seems very important for you to do what you're doing right now. Do you think it would always be the case? Like, if you think about the next 10 years of your career, do you think you will try to have more balance with your relationships?
I mean, I've been saying that I want to retire from music like 2 years ago, but I think everybody that knows me, they know that never is going to happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I wish I could find a better balance between what I want to give to my loved ones and what I want for myself in music.
Yeah. And the balance is also, do you say you compensate in other ways, for example, right now? Or do you call your friends, loved ones?
Yes, I mean, when I'm gone, I try to be very supportive. Like when I know we need to be like there. And also when I'm here, I try to enjoy all the time we can together, and also like sharing important things. Like, I know sometimes maybe my friends don't want to go into deep conversations, but I always want to go there because I am not here. So I also need this, you know?
Yes.
So like I try to push these situations, and they understand me also. So like we compensate, like not being together in small portions of time. But yeah, I mean, I am very grateful also with my friends, because they have learned to understand what I do, and they don't judge me for not being able to be there when they need me all the time.
They support you in that way.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Joseph. Quick message, because I'm just back from Mexico City. I was there, we shot some interviews, and we were hosted by Luz Blues. Luz Blues is a venue, cocktail bar, tattoo shop, clothes shop, and is run by amazing people who have been kind enough to host us while we shoot the interviews. I highly recommend you check them out. We will leave the links in the description to their Instagram. If you're ever in town and you want to visit, you're looking for a good cocktail or for a nice bar, absolutely recommend you go and check them out. I was also lucky to play there a couple of times, and I always had a blast. So thank you, and see you back in the show. And I wanted to ask you, when I was reading and preparing for this interview, like, I know that you come from Colombia, you were born in Colombia, and then you moved to Mexico when you were 18-year-old. I want to ask a lot about Mexico and your current music, but what do you miss about Colombia?
Well, my people, I mean, obviously Colombia and Mexico are like brother countries, and our cultures are very similar. But also there are things that are very Colombian that I miss, and like it's more normalized, like talking loud or making really ugly jokes and not feeling hurt about that. I don't know. I really miss some of the Colombian traditions, and the dancing. Also, Colombia, it's a very danceful country.
Yeah.
And the people have so much flow, and I really miss that energy in the parties.
Yeah. Because in Mexico it's different.
Yeah, it's super different. I mean, Mexico, it has a lot of music, of dancing culture, but I mean, I don't want to be offensive to anyone, but I do find that they use the rockabilly moves in all the styles of music. So, I mean, for us that we are from South America, it's weird for us. When we come to Mexico, like, and we see them dance, it's like, oh, they dance different.
Okay.
So yeah, I miss the South American way of dancing.
Right. So yeah, the vibe was the Colombian South American way of dancing.
Yeah, and it's more normal, you know, because here in Mexico, like dancing in with someone like merengue, salsa, vallenato, cumbia. Like in Mexico, you can only dance with this kind of music with your partner.
Right.
You know, and it's weird because for me, that's sexualizing something that it's not necessarily something that has to do with sex. Like in Colombia, you can dance reggaeton with your brother.
Right.
And it's normal, it's dancing. But here, it would be like, what the fuck are you doing here?
You're invading
Or
space.
if we are friends and maybe I am dating someone and we dance, maybe if that person's gonna be offended.
Right.
Which is very weird for Colombian people. Like, we dance with everybody because it's just dancing. It's just like you can go to a party and dance with someone and never know their name.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's normal. It's a way to interact with people. Yeah. And when you transition from the Colombian culture to Mexico, what inspired you from the Mexican culture?
Yeah, when I got to Mexico, I learned to listen music in a whole different way. When I was really young, I was more focused on like the sounds and how music was made. And when I came to Mexico, I started to understand what music represented in our lives and how important was it for the expression of our culture, of our beliefs, of who we are. So that really changed me. And that's why I changed my style, like totally from one side to another.
Yeah. When you say you change your style, what was the style before and what was after?
Well, when I was young in Colombia, like the music we used to hear was punk, metal, like really hardcore music. And yeah, then I came here and I became like super proud Latino music.
Yeah. Okay. You got closer to Latino music when you were in Mexico already.
Yeah. Because in Colombia, it was all like punk and hardcore and metal.
Yeah. Which is not typically Latino music. I
mean, in Colombia, it's very normal. Also, here in Mexico, you're going to find a strong and huge, like, rockabilly culture or a punk culture or, you know?
Yeah.
So, but there are, like the small groups, but Mexico is huge, so it's a lot of people. But, yeah, we consume it, but it obviously doesn't represent us, you know?
Yeah. It's not like native of Latin America. And when I was researching and listening to other interviews, you were definitely linked to reggaeton. I learned a new term, which is Cumbiaton. And then you mentioned as well that your style is Mexican tribal, or I want to get it right, guaracha, which is Colombian, right? It's Colombian. Can you explain a little bit about this different genre? And also, like, what do you think represents you right now?
Okay, so, yeah, everybody knows me and started to know me because of the reggaeton. And also I use, like, the platform of my name to promote this new rhythm I found in Mexico that was the Cumbiaton. And Cumbiaton is a mix of reggaeton and cumbia, but accelerated.
Yeah.
So it's very fun. It's very fast. It's the lyrics are very strong, and they express a lot about what young people are going through these days.
Yeah.
It has like their special way of dancing, which I love, and they do like dance combats.
Yeah.
So and they have also like this specific fashion style. So, and it's all inspired, and it all grew in the market culture of Mexico in Los Tianguis. So I think it's very true and real, and it represents Mexico so much. So, of course, I fell in love with Cumbiaton. And around all these like music styles, like in the barrios or the ghettos or whatever, like there are other rhythms, like you can find tribal and guaracha. They are not like brother rhythms, like in the sense of a structure or how technically this kind of music is made, but they are brothers in the sense that they grew up in the same environment, in the same parties, and also kind of like with the same people, you know? So these are like the rhythms I like to play, and they represent me, and I like to represent these rhythms. They are all very strong rhythms from the barrios, from Colombia and Mexico. So I think this is what I want to continue representing in my work.
Yeah. Do you feel your music style evolves over time? Like, or you feel like this has been always your identity musically?
No, I'm always changing. My first music groups were punk. Then I had a witch house label, a noise group that was called boy band. Then the Reggaeton and Cumbiaton thing. Now I'm doing like only tribal and guaracha. So I'm always changing, and I love all music, but I think that people can perceive these changes also as how they allowed me to grow, you know, because sometimes audience don't allow you to be different from what they knew you. So I try to grow with them, like, and not to do like super hardcore changes, because also it's gonna be weird for the audience.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep it like in this, and I like it. I like it representing like underground Latin music, like in its purest way.
And because this also reflects in your sets, like you have a lot of like, if one listens to one of your sets, like you feel like there is a journey, but it's also like it oscillates a lot in tempo, in the musical choices within the same set. How do you make sure that, in a way, like if it's still consistent, even if you pick from different genres or different tracks, how do you give it some consistency?
I've learned to do this through the years, obviously by making a lot of mistakes and maybe ruining a couple of parties.
I'm going to ask you something about that. I want to know more.
But yeah, I mean, I've been touring for more than 10 years with non-stopping, so I've learned to read the audience. And also in Colombia, the crossover style, this is what we call crossover. This crossover style is very normal. It's the way we consume music in Colombia. Like you go to a party and you can hear like merengue, cumbia, techno, psycho, trance in the same hour.
Right. Crazy. Yeah.
And that's how I grew up. So that's how I learned to express myself in music.
Very interesting. And what about changes in tempo? I know you described that in other interviews, but basically, let's say you have a track that is originally 160 BPM, and another one that you're playing that is about 100 BPM, so quite a bit difference in tempo. You're playing the 100 BPM first. How do you beat match do you beat match them?
I mean, there's a lot of ways to play with that, and it depends like how you develop your technique. Obviously, there are, and also you have to learn to develop your creativity with the machine.
Yeah.
So of course these transitions are not easy to make because they usually feel awkward. But I don't know. I think I mean, after doing it for so long, I've developed already like different styles and techniques that help me do these kind of transitions. Not everybody likes them, you know. In Europe, for the European audience, these transitions are like too much. It's crazy for them, and sometimes they would read it as, "Oh, this DJ doesn't know what she's doing," you know.
Interesting. It's a very interesting thing.
And it's like, no, this is a style. It's the Latino style. Just you don't know it, but this is the Latino style because Latino electronic music is not like techno. It's not as structured as techno or all these traditional electronic rhythms that are mixed in a certain way and have certain technique, you know? So this part has been hard and difficult, like for people in other countries to understand the crossover style. But I mean, I'm not going to stop. And this is something that people knows me for. And what I always say to people is, don't be afraid of the BPM.
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's sometimes it's fun. I hate linear shit, you know.
Meaning like same BPM throughout.
Yes, or like linear going up or linear going down. It's boring for me. So I mean, it's having fun. For me, it's super fun to doing this crazy shit.
You mentioned something before, which is in Europe, people are not used to that. Is it challenging for you when you go to Prague? Or let's say if you played in Prague or if you play in other parts of Europe, let's say UK, would that be more challenging? Because people would be like, oh shit, you know?
I mean, I do it, and most of the times, people do understand it because I mean, right now my technique is good, so I actually make good transitions. So people that knows like how much more difficult it is to mix these music styles, they appreciate it. But people that don't know how to mix and are only used to going to the parties to dance, maybe it's hard for them because the reaction of the body is going to be different because they have to change the style and the vibe and everything they were feeling because I just decided to change it. So I get it. It's difficult for some people, but I think it's really cool to have variety in the shows, and it's boring when all the DJs are the same. So when I see people doing this, I get inspired, and I'm like, shit, I also want to learn this. I also want to do this. So you start rehearsing these difficult transitions until you make them sound nice.
Could you tell me more about the technicality of it? So let's say you have two tracks that have a big difference in tempo, and you want to transition them. Do you accelerate the one that's playing? Let's say it's a 100 BPM track, you want to go to 160, you go up and...
Yeah, you can go up or down. You just use the wide
tempo.
So you can move the tempo like in a
wider
in a wider range. And until you put it in a nice BPM or the other song is. Also, I mean, I use a lot of the pullback, the reverb effect, and
to do a transition that is a bit more like cutting through another track. And when it comes down to the selection of the tracks before you prepare a set, do you tend to prepare a set in advance?
Yes, I always prepare my sets, but I never get to play them the way I want. Because when I am rehearsing in my house, my monitors are sounding good and I am by myself. Are the songs that I like. So, of course, I enjoy the set. But then you go to the party and confront the audience and maybe the DJ before you was putting like the craziest, fastest music, so you can't start with a low BPM, so you have to change. Or maybe the DJ before you was a boring DJ, so you have to start like
Change the vibe completely.
So yeah, preparing is always important, and having like structured ideas of what you want to present. But it's also important that you know that you can not just go to a place and impose your thing. You know, you have to. I mean, this is a relationship that I have to give you, and you have to give me. So we have to share, and we have to be open to each other. So you cannot go to just impose shit to people, you know? I don't like this vibe. I would never in my life do that.
Yeah.
Like I always go, I read the people, I study what the DJ before me is doing, and then I go and I try to give the people what I think it's going to be better for them.
How do you change course if you see that people are not reacting well?
I just do a pullback and try other music style. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I am not afraid of doing this. I know sometimes in some places some music styles don't work, and it doesn't matter. You just change it.
Yeah. Tell me more about one challenging moment while DJing. You said before you fucked up, or you had difficult situations.
Yeah, so I mean, lately I've been changing my music style to more electronic styles like guaracha and tribal. So last year I played in Guatemala, and I think that public in specific was expecting from me like a very reggaeton traditional set. And I did play the first hour, all the music they wanted. But after 1 hour, I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to try my music. So I started playing more electronic things. And then because the party was big, it was like almost 2,000 people.
Wow.
And everybody started like, whoosh. Like imagine 2,000 people like, and so, that was challenging, and also it's very hard not to break in these moments. Like, of course, you feel like you wanna cry and you wanna leave and go lock yourself in the bathroom and shower yourself because of all the looseness you have in you. But no, I mean it's normal. It can happen to all of us, and it doesn't mean you failed forever. So yeah. Also, like when they take me to in East Europe, Latin music is not common. You know, you cannot even find like Latin people in this place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they hire me, usually I am in these lineups with all these hard techno DJs and me, and then I am like, what the fuck? What I'm going to play to these people? So these situations are intense for me because also I don't want to lose the personality and the important message of my shows and my music.
You seem to have developed a good relationship with coping with outside hate or comments or destructive feedback. How do you cope with that? Let's say someone is like, I imagine that would be super tough for most people. You're playing in front of 2,000 people, everybody starts like whistling and saying, how do you cope with that?
I mean, I have gone through that situation a lot of times, and that's the truth. Because you have to understand that my music style is very specific, and I mean, if you don't like Latin culture, you're not going to like my music. So, yeah, a lot of times I've been screamed by all the club or all the people, like, because I try to bring like this very specific music style. So maybe the first times it was hard, and maybe I did cry. But then I also have a lot of success in other ways and in other events, and also a lot of people like the shows, so I don't let that like put me down. Also, I am a hater. I hate everything and everyone, and I speak about it very loud, and I don't give a fuck. And I don't want people to take that personally. It's just who I am. So I don't take it personally from people also, you know? I also don't expect to be liked by everyone. I know I have a strong personality, and I know that I have no filter, and usually everything that crosses my mind, I say it. And it's probably inappropriate in a lot of circumstances, but also there's no other face in me, you know? Like, what you see is what you get, what you hear is what I think.
Yeah.
And there's no other backside or surprises, or so I am comfortable with that, and it's okay if people don't like me.
Was he always like that for you?
I've always been a kind of an outsider, so yeah, I mean, it's that I am not shy, and also I am very social. So this has helped me also, like, to balance these situations. But I just I think, yes, I've been always this way.
It helps you, like, when you are public, you have a public figure, and then people like start throwing shit at you for whatever reason, because then it's like a shield.
Also, you have to learn to acknowledge when you're wrong. You know, you cannot just be having this shield and not letting anything go. Like, I know I've also made a lot of mistakes, and I know that a lot of the shit I said is wrong. But same as I say it so strong, I can also approach you and tell you in your face with no shame that I am sorry, and that I will try to be a better person, you know?
Yeah.
So I think this is important to make yourself stronger, and like acknowledging you also make bad things.
Yeah.
Makes you understand people in a better way.
Yeah. Have you changed your mind on something recently?
Yes. In every interview, I notice how my thoughts change.
Over time, like,
Yes. Like things about appropriation, about globalization, about traveling, about how we artists behaving in the music business. It's all changing all the time. Also, I'm old, but it has been very hard for me maturing. So I feel like maybe 2 years ago I started like really maturing my thoughts. So yeah, I a lot of the things I said in the past had changed.
How did you notice that, this transition from, you just say, maturing? How were you before, and then how are you now?
I mean, obviously I can notice very easily just by seeing my interviews from the past, and I am like, oh my God, I'm so ashamed. Like, I was so clueless. But yeah, growing up is very hard. You have to go through a lot of difficult situations to really learn. And traveling so much and having to be empathic and learning from so many different cultures has made me more humble and more empathic. And yeah, I think like going through difficult situations through during the tours, that is the thing that has made me mature the most.
Difficult situations, you mentioned before, relationships, being distant from people you love, something around those lines.
Yeah, and also it's not the same touring with an European passport than with a Colombian passport. Same as it's not the same touring with a Mexican passport as a Colombian passport.
Yeah.
Because Mexicans have a lot way more privilege than Colombians. So being a Colombian with a Colombian face and a Colombian passport in the world is going through a lot of humiliation, a lot of violence, physical violence, mental violence. So these are the situations that really show you the world, who you are for them, for the people, and for the world.
Yeah.
And yes, this, like, knowing who you are and for the people and for yourself, it's like it's crazy. Like these situations really change.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear, and it shouldn't be like that in ideal world. Yeah. If you feel comfortable in talking about it, what is a situation that for you was particularly touching, that you felt really weird about, that now you processed perhaps, but...
I don't know, traveling is very violent for us. So I've had to run from people that want to hit me just for walking on certain street. I had people spitting at my face.
Wow.
Just for entering a store to buy a Coca-Cola. I've had like, it's not, looking like me in some places, it's difficult. I've been in India, people throw rocks at me.
Wow.
Some places are crazy. Also, if you're a woman, traveling by yourself is difficult. So all this makes you grow, and that's why I also feel every day more proud of my music style, and that's why I don't want to change, and I don't want to adapt to the European style, because I see a lot of my friends and a lot of my colleagues here in Mexico and Colombia, like, trying to adapt their music style to the European style so they can also start touring
In Europe, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound techno-ish. I don't want to, I really enjoy things as how I am. And
Yeah.
so,
Do you feel free with your art?
yeah, I am a punk, and also my personality doesn't allow me to follow rules or to have a boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have never in my life signed a contract to anyone that, like, I would never sign anything for anyone.
Yeah.
Not even if because I've been offered a lot of money for signing contracts, and I'm like, I can't. Like, I know I'm not going to follow this. Like, as soon as you tell me not to do one thing, I'm going to go do it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I am free because I have chose to be free in my work, and because I've started doing music way before I started doing money with this. So it wasn't the money, it's not the money, the thing that makes me do this. I'm not a DJ because I want to be an influencer. I'm not a DJ because I want to be famous. I'm not a DJ because I want to have this bluff life and be fashionable and sexy and pretty. No, I do music since I was 14 years old, and I've done it because other way my life wouldn't have any sense, and it would be better for me to be dead.
Right. What's success for you?
What is success for me?
Yeah.
Success for me is being free, is being able to make your own choices without thinking like, of course, I don't want to ever hurt anyone, but yeah, I don't have to think about anyone to make my choices. You know, if I want to travel tomorrow, I can travel tomorrow, and I don't have to tell anyone. And if I want to do tomorrow a merengue song, I can do it, and no one can tell me like, no, you can only do reggaeton and cumbiaton because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for me, this is freedom, like being able to be myself and take my own choices and take the responsibility of my choices that I choose.
Yeah. And I had a question about, you played the different ballrooms, which is something that a lot of people see, millions of people that probably watch all your ballrooms. You started to think, I think the first one was 2017, and then again 2018, and then more and more in New York, Barcelona, different parts of the world. There is also recognition and public expectation that come with that. How does that impact you?
The first boiler room really impacted me because it created a lot of hate, and it was the first time I was getting this by so many people all around the world. So I remember maybe the first 3 months I cried a lot, and I felt very humiliated, and I was so confused and so lost in my thoughts of sadness, and I felt like such a loser. But DJ Sueño, he's always been he's like my brother. And he always has been a great motivation in my life. And he has been always the person that has been like taking care of me in all these difficult situations. So I think it is thanks to his friendship that I can handle all these situations with strength and also with a little bit of honor.
Pride. Yeah. How did he help you? So you're getting a lot of hate. It's like,
I
was going through your mind. Yeah.
I know he hates talking about deep shit and feelings and things that make you cry, but I always push him, and he knows when I need these moments, like intimate moments of talking with someone about what's really going on with yourself. And Sueño, he also really knows me, and he has seen me fall so many times. He already knows how I look, so he knows how to approach me, how to communicate with me. Because also I am not someone that likes to show themselves like very vulnerable. But I think he knows me enough to do these approaches in a very nice way, in a very proper way. And he has been the person that I love the most, and that has shown me the most support in my life. So it is thanks to him.
Yeah. And so that was 2017, the first ballroom, right? And then I think a year later you played another ballroom. That was the Primavera, Barcelona?
It was not the next year, but it was like maybe 4 years after I played the Primavera ballroom. It was
2022 or something like this.
Yes. So that was also after a huge cancellation I went through, and all my work was eliminated, and people wanted to eliminate it from music, eliminating me from music industry. So I begged for that opportunity. And it was my redemption. So I played with all my heart. I know people cannot see this in the video because they cut it, but as soon as I finished, I started crying like if someone, I don't know, like if someone has died in front of me. I was crying like I couldn't even breathe, because it was a very important moment for me, and I put so much heart into it. And I think people can really notice that. So, yeah, that was my strong comeback from from all the bullshit I did and that I came from. And
Yeah, because the 2017 one, you got a lot of hate, and then it felt like people canceled you for that ballroom, or in general for other gigs.
And now for other stuff, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And as I told you, I speak a lot of bullshit that comes through my mind. So, of course, this has also taken me to a lot of controversy and problematic situations. So, of course, I am someone, I mean, people that has worked with me knows that I am very confrontative and that if I don't like something, I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah.
And not in the sense of making accusations, because I don't accuse people, I take actions.
Yeah.
I think that is more scary for people. Of course, growing up is very difficult as I was telling you, and maturing. So yeah, I've gone through a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
I am a controversial person, and I know it, and I acknowledge, and I try to be better. But of course, I've made mistakes.
Yeah. And you mentioned before, then the ballroom in Barcelona was 2022 was a huge moment for you. It was also a release, probably, because, what happened after that? You got, I guess, more recognition. People started like looking at your music, at your performances. How does that play a role in your artistic growth?
It made me feel super proud that I could overcome all these mistakes I made and all the difficult situations I went through. So it was like winning a medal. Of course, no one was giving me anything, but in my heart, I was like, like getting a medal for finally doing something good. So I was proud, and I learned, and a lot of work opportunities came along.
Yeah. And with the, let's call it the recognition, you start getting a bigger audience. Did you ever feel pressured? You have expectations, people have expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I think people that are in my position, I am not a super famous DJ or anything like that, but I do understand that I am a pioneer in what I do in the eyes of the world. So this does brings like the pressure of failure. The you feel scared of the down, of going down, or not having so many likes, or you are not feeling your events anymore. But through the time, I've learned that I don't really care about this because I'm going to continue doing music with or without people, you know?
Yeah.
And about getting the money, I've always get money from working in whatever work I do, and I never feel ashamed of any of the works I've had in my life. And I can continue, working as long as I am healthy. So maybe when I was more immature, I was afraid of feeling like a loser, or that people would see me like, oh, she's failing now, her time is over.
Yeah.
Also because in Mexico, because the culture here is they like to make fun of you, so maybe sometimes the memes they do about me, they are hurtful, but I've also learned that it's normal to grow up and be old, and that people forget you, and it's okay. And young generations are here, and young people with new creativity and fresh ideas deserve also an opportunity. So I am also ready for the downfall.
Yeah, you seem to be, in a way, you know what you care about, and you cannot care about everything else, right? So for using music, you do that because that's what you love. You can control how people will react and what people will say about you, right?
Yeah. Also, I've been feeling every time more far away from the new things,
Yeah.
Like I try to be around young people and keep myself fresh with my creativity. But also, I can notice how I am old school.
Yeah. Compared to the new trends. Yeah. And in another interview that you did, you said that therapy helped you a lot, process things and learn.
The what?
Therapy.
Yes.
They're doing therapy. And what did you learn about yourself or about the world from therapy, from being in therapy?
Well, first of all, when you are an artist who is touring all the time, you cannot go to any therapist. Like, you have to go to a specialist that knows and understands your style of work. Otherwise, it's not going to work and you're just going to lose your time and your money.
Yeah.
So when I did a lot of therapies with all sorts of therapists, and nothing was working for me until I found people that were specialized in artists that tour so much.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, really helpful because for some time I was feeling that my body was not having enough energy and to do all the traveling, like, and the gigs and the energy. And so this therapist told me some techniques to learn how to control my body, my respiration, like, so now I feel super healthy to do, like, I can travel for 40 hours in different flights and I can handle it and do the gig the same night and then come back to fucking Mexico and do other 36 hours. So I've learned how to handle that. And it was all thanks to all the techniques that I've been learning through therapy.
Specifically for this, to support.
Yes, of course. Because if you go to a regular therapist, they're just gonna dismiss your work because they don't understand. They're gonna tell you, like, then do other thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the specialists are going to teach you how to learn to deal with these kind of situations that are not going anywhere because you love touring and you're going to be there working at night until 6 a.m. and being surrounded by drugged people and alcohol and hardcore sex situations and all this that comes with the work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think because I was going to retire, like really retire 3 years ago, and it was thanks to this therapist that I am here now continuing in music.
Yeah. Retire meaning stop performing.
Yes.
And you started this project with DJ Sueno, right? So he's a friend of yours, a mentor, a supporter. What's the idea behind Chekera? And how do you, I know you want to support also local artists and people that you really, how do you select the music? How do you support these artists?
La Chekera, for me, it's a very important project, and I always want to talk about it because La Chekera is not, I don't find it the same as the other record labels that are always trying to show the best music and like thinking they're gonna change the world or the music scene with one song or whatever. I mean, it's really cool, but that's not our vision. Our vision of La Chekera is making our space like a playground for new artists that are learning to do music and using us as a platform to showing these first songs. So yes, our songs are not the best songs, and I know we have a lot of trashy shit and whatever, but in some years, like a lot of these artists are gonna be huge, and I'm gonna feel super proud to know and to see I was there giving like the first steps with them growing together. Because what I always tell to people, because I come from a very dark background, and thinking about my life, if like not like I was giving me permission to be a bad person, but I could be like a very fucked up person. But like when someone just gave me a little bit of trust and they believed in me like just for 1 second, that gave me the strength to do all the things I've done that I feel very proud today. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to do with these young artists that come also from really dark places as myself, and that maybe no one in their family has believed in them, and I want to believe in them and show them that our space is safe for making those mistakes.
How do you find these artists? Like, do you accept demos? Are you open to demos, and then people normally find you, or you dig online? You ask.
It's both. Sometimes they find me, and sometimes I find them. I'm a digger. I am also addicted to internet, and so I like to search and search and search until I found these gems. And I know it doesn't work with everybody, but I love to see young people grow and glow and be better.
Yeah, that's great. And what are the challenges that like these artists face? Like,
The challenges is that, of course, that we are coming from these really dark stories and difficult situations. So our mentality can be very aggressive. We can be very insecure because of our circumstances, and insecurity creates violence and makes people act in bad ways. So the challenge is to change these actions and make these young people change their paths and to make them. It doesn't matter if they became successful in music, but I think what it is important for Sueño and I is that these young people learn about community and about sharing and about being good with each other and about growing and having success without feeling insecure or jealous, you know?
Yeah. Do you end up like developing friendships? Like Sueño and you became friends, like you're super close, you have projects together. Does it happen to you that someone you're supporting becomes like a friend?
Yeah, I love all the kids, and they know they can come with me. With some of them, I've had some really bad problems and situations that I don't tolerate and that I won't accept in my life. So I reject these people and I don't allow them near us anymore. But when I see young people that are really changing and that have good feelings in their heart and that their actions are good, they might be confused, but their hearts and their actions are good. We keep our friendship, and of course, I'm always going to be that person they can talk to, even if I am not here in Mexico. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make them feel safe and help them with their situations.
To support them, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And you seem to have also, DJ Crisis was also another of your supporters at the very early start. What is something that was particularly important to you in the relationship you have with Sueño or DJ Crisis that really helped you mature, feel better?
People always ask me about being a woman in the industry, and I think I had it so easy because I had the support of Crisis and Sueño, and they were so respected, and they were already so huge when they took me as their little sister. So growing up with them was beautiful.
Yeah.
And also learning to say no to them was very important because, of course, I was like the smallest project. I was learning all I needed to learn from reggaeton from them.
Mm-hmm.
So my opinions maybe were not that important in the group, you know? So learning to stand up to them, like as my friends and the people I really love and care, and learning to say no and to make my voice sound louder. That was challenging because I respected them so much, and also I didn't want their reject. So those situations like can conflictuate your mind and your actions.
Yeah.
But yeah, learning to stand up against them was important, even though I love them, and like splitting from them because we were a group.
Yeah.
Because I was the one that decided I didn't want to be part of them anymore. That really made me grow in the industry because, like, I left everything that protected me in the industry to go on my own.
Right.
So
It's you grew up out of finding your own voice,
Yes.
being independent. Do you have any couple of names of artists that for now they're up and coming that you have found through La Chekera that you would like to mention that for your interest?
Yeah, I mean, of course, DJ Sueño is the main artist of the label, and I think he's talking about technique and manage of the equipment, I would say DJ Sueño is the best reggaeton DJ in the world. And also, I've been working with Freebot, who is this super young artist from Monterrey. And he has so many heart and passion inside him. And he's really a good person. And his creativity is amazing. Working with him in the studio is one of the most delicious experiences of my life. And I really wish for them to grow and have all the opportunities they deserve.
Yeah, that's great. What's a project or more projects that you're excited about for your future?
So right now, I'm trying to stay a little bit away from Reggaeton and Cumbiaton because I've been doing that for 10 years, so it's too much. And right now, I'm trying to evolve my projects into more cultural expressions. I would like to put myself out of the clubs and into more cultural spaces like free spaces for music or museums. Because this new style I want to start performing is the pre-Hispanic tribal. And it's like this electronic music inspired in the native instruments and sounds of America. So yeah, I think it is the proper next step for my project, and it's another way of showing I am maturing and caring about my message and how I want to transmit art.
Yeah, that's great. And I read you also are writing a book, or maybe, is that true?
Yes, I'm writing 2 books. The first book is about DJ Sueño. Is that he inspires me so much.
I need to meet him, I think, at this point.
Yeah, so of course, as an artist, I get inspired by the things that surrounds me, and DJ Sueño is the biggest human figure in my life. So of course, I am making a book about him and about his career and about how important is he for the Mexican underground music scene. And the second book, it's a long project. I'm working on a dictionary of Latin American terms for electronic music, like subgenres, the genders, the words we use for the music styles that maybe people all around the world don't understand because it's more like of our vocabulary. So I want to do this.
Yeah, looking forward. Do you know timeline? Do you know when they come?
Yeah, the Sueño book is almost already done. So I'm thinking it's gonna be ready to sell for the summer. And the dictionary, I think it's gonna take me maybe 1 year or a couple of years more because it's a long project. But yes,
An exciting project. Yeah, looking forward to reading. Will they be in Spanish or English or both?
I want to make it both versions because, of course, if I want people to learn about our culture and respect us, they have to understand us, and the global language is English. So I think Spanish and English is gonna be the perfect.
Looking forward to both of them. And few more questions just before we wrap up. What is the first thing you do when you wake up?
The first thing I do is go downstairs and hug and kiss my dogs, that I love them with all my heart, and they are the first motivation of my life. So we usually, I go down and I will lie on their bed and we kiss each other and we have a little session of love, and then I start the day.
Yeah. What is one thing you are grateful for in your life?
I am grateful for my dogs, because they teach me so much and they are really the hugest motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I am thankful for the people that has had the patience to be around me and support me, even though I've been sometimes such a terrible person.
What is a trait of your personality that is a superpower, and what is a part of your personality that is a curse?
I would say it has to be the same thing, and is that how honest I am.
I was gonna say, I was sure you were gonna say that.
Because this has given me so many blessings in my life, but also has gotten me into so many trouble. And people always tell me, like, Laura, maybe you should like start thinking like what you say, and I do think this is important, but maybe it's not to change what I say, but maybe to change what I'm feeling or thinking.
Yeah.
And that has been the challenge. But yeah, I feel better. I think more. I've been maturing.
Yeah. Yeah. You need both. You need the curse and the bless.
But yeah, of course, if I wasn't also so confrontative and so honest, maybe it would have been more difficult, the competition in the music business, you know, because the competition is hard and not everybody's a nice person, you know. A lot of other artists are going to do a lot of naughty shit, so you don't overcome them. So yeah, I think it's a blessing and it's a curse.
Yeah, both sides. What is a closing track that you would play forever in your sets?
There's one I use a lot and people love me and hate me for this, but I love to play Borro Cassette de Maluma. I don't even like Maluma. I don't like what he represents. I don't like this particular song or anything, but I always put this song to close my sets, even though if I'm playing super hardcore music, like I am 160 BPM, and then I just Borro Cassette de Maluma.
I gotta listen to it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's also a guilty pleasure I have.
Wow. Okay. What if you can choose to play in front of 10,000 people, massive stadium, but you don't know any of them, or 20 close friends into a small flat? What would you choose?
I would say the 10,000 people. Because I really like the adrenaline of the shows, and it's crazy all the things you feel when you are in front of so many people, and if you manage to make the connection, it is insane. Like, I have tried many drugs in my life, you know, but this is way bigger and higher. Like, making this connection through music with 10 or 20,000 people. When you finish the show, it's like being in another planet, and everything is. It is the last time I played for 25,000 people when I did a great show, and I feel very proud. And when I get down the stage, I started throwing up like for the next 2 days. I mean, that's how crazy your body feels, and your energy, and how it impacts you, you know?
Crazy. 25,000 people. Wow. Yeah. Impressive. 2 more questions. One is, if you were stuck on a deserted island for a week with another artist, they can be dead or alive, musicians or some kind of other art, who would you choose and why?
I don't know. I don't even know if I would have a nice time, but I would say Robbie Draco Rosa. Robbie Draco Rosa is one of the most important writers and composers of Latin America. He has written some of the most famous songs for our culture. He's a poet. He's still alive, and he started inspiring me since I was 14 years old. And I've never in my life fell in love with someone, but I think I have felt this kind of love through his songs.
Wow. Another person that I need to check out. Yeah. And we have a closing tradition. We ask everybody, what is a question that we should ask the next guest without knowing who they're going to be?
Maybe but would be cool to start talking about the difficulties and the backside of our work, and how the competition between us affects us, and it's also important that we start talking about how difficult are our relationships with the agencies.
Agencies, yeah. Okay, great question to ask. There's a question from the previous guest for you, which is, what is the right way to make it in music today?
Well, there are so many paths in music, and it depends in your heart and what you want to be. A lot of people do this work for fame. A lot of people do this work for money. So it depends. If you want to be super famous, there's going to be a right way for that. And in my particular situation, the right way to do it is with honor, with respect, with loyalty, with empathy.
Right. And truthfulness. Right?
Yes, and truthfulness.
Laura, this has been great. Super inspiring. Thank you for the chat, for being here.
Thank you.
It's been great.
Bye.
Thank you.